Your phone is.
You get another text?
Yeah, I'm getting more.
That thing's got to vibrate. That thing's got to vibrate.
Vibrating,
Okay.
Had they invented?
I didn't know if it was a noise or.
Had they invented the vibrating deal for those phones?
I got. Yeah, they just. This is the first phone ever that vibrated. This factory phone here. My wife wants to know if Don Muhlbach is still the snapper. How do you know this guy?
Are you from Detroit?
My brother says I look huge next to you.
You look big.
I think he's being sarcastic.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he is.
And apparently, Muhlbach is still the snapper.
Oh, that's good to know. That's good to
He
know.
is a Texas Aggie. And our
Okay.
crack research staff has found that, yes, he is still the long snapper, which to me is one of the best jobs in the NFL. You play, what, 10, 15
Don't you need
plays
another
a game?
skill to be a long? Don't you have to be like long snapper and like team seamstress or something? Don't you have to bring something else to the table?
The good ones, dude. You know what? The good ones, you know what they are? They're reserve tight ends.
Our research staff has actually found that Muhlbach did some punting at Texas A&M. So he was not just a long snapper,
There you go.
but also a punter,
So
which
he brings that to the table. That's important.
How do you snap to yourself?
Yeah, well, there you that's
But
hard
if you
part.
think about it,
when you're
if you
like
think about it, it could be done.
when you're
He
the
learned that
third
with
If you
punter.
snapped it high enough over, like under, that
taking
could
a
be.
snap from the second
That's.
snapper.
Can you juggle like that? Can you like do some like?
Yeah,
kinda-
those are called Alberts actually. Yeah, it is when you throw to yourself under your legs backwards. That's
It's called
what
an
that's
Albert?
called. Yeah, it's
He
called.
could Albert himself.
Hey, does your information guys? Do they know how this guy knows my wife? Can I figure that out? Look that up.
We're working on
Was he punting or snapping at the time?
Good question.
We're gonna hear about that one later.
Probably. Oh, there goes the phone again.
Whoa.
This is so much fun.
Was he punting or snapping? What is that supposed to be? Clever?
Coming up a little bit later in halftime, we do have all you ever wanted to know and maybe more about Don Muhlbach, the long snapper for the Lions. Our crack research team has been working hard on finding out more about him. As we get started here in the second half, we want to bring you all that you ever cared or might ever want to know and a little bit more about Don Muhlbach, apparently a close family friend of Tommy's wife. 30-year-old, played in Lufkin High School,
Okay.
was a special teams MVP all the way back in high school,
He's always great at deep snapping.
Wow.
training at an early
Special
age.
teams all the way through. That's amazing.
That is amazing.
That is amazing.
Usually at some point you kind of, that's like your last straw and you're like,
like-
man, look how good I can snap this ball.
what high
Maybe
school
this is the way I can hang on.
The high school
He was
coach has a
dedicated
future
to it.
professional
He was
athlete on his team.
dedicated to it.
Most
Which
kids,
one of you guys are going to be the next NFL player? Quarterback?
Most
Yeah,
kids
this running back's pretty fast.
Special teams long snapper.
most kids want to be all-time QB, right?
It's the snapper.
And here's
Oh,
Don
the
Muhlbach, who
center? Oh,
wants
the
to be
center?
all-time center.
No,
What's your-
not the center.
What's your
snapper.
strategy this season, Lufkin High Coach? We're going to punt as much as possible. You
We
have
feel
to see
like-
this kid snap.
We feel like our best player's our snapper this year, and we're going to let him do his thing.
We're going to let him do what he does.
He,
We don't have a punter. It's a high school team, but we have this amazing snapper.
He actually went
We have a
to
new shotgun formation that we're going to use.
Deep shotgun. Lots of fake punts.
he went to A&M where he was the long snapper, and he also served as their emergency punter in 2002.
See, I told you got to bring something else to the table.
It's just crazy,
Emergency
man.
punter. He was probably the guy
At-
with the iPod in the locker room. Too.
At the
You got to
A&M,
bring extra stuff.
the A&M Pro Day, he ran a 5.28 40. That's
5.28
that's
40.
slow for a
I thought that was slow.
defensive
5.28
for a nose
40.
tackle, right?
Hey,
Slow for any human being, I think.
I was looking for like a 4.6 or
he's a
something
professional
like that.
football player.
He also
5.28
he may be
Train
slow.
like it, for crying out loud.
21 career special teams tackles, and his brother played basketball at A&M as well.
Wow.
The team that went to the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
Speaking of
The D-line?
snaps,
The snap is one
as
of
we go to the Twitter feed brought to you by Verizon, we have a tweet from Don Muhlbach, of all people. says he
Fantastic.
checked his cell at halftime, had a bunch of texts from his buddies in Texas. They're saying some TV show is talking about my long snapping skills. Thanks for the shout outs. We've turned him into a national star.
Love it.
Wow. He is, long snappers probably yearn for this attention, right?
It's about time.
He's
I don't
gotten
know
it.
any long snappers, so.
No?